So one of the small projects for the 8N that I brought home to work on is cleaning, repacking, and setting up the front spindles and hubs, and I'm also going to rebush the front axle. So far I have taken apart everything and washed it, and I did that with everything, including our bearings, which I've already looked at, and there is nothing wrong with them, so we can reuse those, which is good because they're good made in the USA bearings anyway. Alrighty. And also our spindles are actually in good shape, because I don't think I have them anymore. I think I got rid of them, but on my 2N Warhorse, the first set of spindles I took apart for it, the original front spindles, the bearings had got so loose that it had actually worn this entire section of the spindle right out. Like it wore right through here almost all the way. Well, not quite all the way, but it probably went 1/8 of an inch on either side. So I had to find other spindles for that tractor. And this one's in good shape, and so are the bearings that came out of it. So we can definitely reuse what we have here, which I'm far more confident in reusing a set of USA made old bearings than I am new ones, because most of the new ones are coming from India, China, Mexico, etc., which is okay, but you know, I trust these guys a little bit more. Okay, what you see here is nothing special. You've seen me pack bearings with it before. It's a cheap, simple tool, and it's effective. And, well, that's kind of everything I like. So we'll take our bearing and we'll saddle it over top, put our cap back on. We'll take our grease gun with a tube full of grease, and we'll start pumping grease into it. Like I said, I took and I varsoled these and blew out all the old grease and everything, so it's a little easier because we're not having to pump the old grease out of them first. Okay. Usually it sticks to the top. Oh, there we go. It just popped off. So you'll see the inside of it is all filled with grease. So usually what I do is I take what's inside it here and I'll just run it across the rollers, just so that when I assemble it, the rollers don't start out dry. Everything has grease in it then. It's probably not necessary, but you know what? It's cheap insurance. So I'll take and flip my hub over, because that's our inner bearing. Plop it back in. And I usually just take and run a bit of grease around the outside there. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to pack the other bearing, and then we'll put our seal in. Because it's less mess for me then. I have to wipe my hands 100 times, and I can just wipe them a couple. Okay. Just take and unscrew this now. And our bearing is still stuck in the top half, right? So now we'll put our seal in. These seals are kind of odd because instead of going out like you think, they actually go like that. And you'll see why in a minute. So I'll take it, get it kind of lined up. Okay. We'll go down till it seats. Now you'll see why. Because you see that rubber actually goes down in and caps the back side of the bearing there, right? And it's because you'll see the lip here too is down a bit. If we look at our hub or spindle, you can see the recess right here. So it needs that space in here to get in there, right? Because with it assembled, you get just a little bit of a space there, which anybody with an 8N has seen that, or if you haven't, it's because it's all packed full of crap usually. I scraped all that out when I washed it. Okay, now we can put our outer bearing in. Do the same thing, I'll just take the extra grease that's here. And I'll coat the rollers. Just because that's the way I was taught how to do bearings. And knock on wood, I've never had a bearing failure. Alright, take that extra grease too. Put that down in here. We'll take our washer and install it next. Just wipe my hands while I'm here. There's our washer. There's our nut. I'm going to show you how I was taught how to set bearings up. I don't know if it's the best way in the world, but again, it's the way I was taught and it's the way I've always done them. And whether you agree with it or not, it's up to you how you want to do them. Usually it's a little easier because they're on a vehicle or something, but we make do with what we have. That's all the way seated. All right. Now we'll back it off. And we'll go back until it's tight. And then back it off a turn. Okay. So right about there. Again, if you don't like how I did it, you can do it however you would like. I am certainly not stopping you. I'd usually take whatever's left of the grease that's on here, and that goes in our cap. And we'll just tighten that a little bit. And then we can clean all our tools up, put them away. Okay. And now we have a hub that turns nice and easy, nice and smooth, and it's full of clean grease. So we can move on to the next part of our tractor. Okay, so this is the 49 Ford 8N that I have been messing around with. A friend of mine actually is looking for a tractor, so I'm fixing it and getting it to run and operate good for him. So far I have disassembled the front tires and put a set of tubes in. I've taken apart the hubs, cleaned them all, inspected the bearings, repacked the bearings, put new seals in. I put new upper and lower spindle bushings in. I put another center axle pin and a new bushing in it. Put new points in the distributor, changed the cap, rotor, the dust, I don't know, gasket if you want to call it that, inside. Converted it over to 12 volt. Just to be a little more user friendly for him. I've swapped the rad for one that doesn't have a big hole in the bottom of it. Rebuilt carburetor. Replaced everything that's rubber on this tractor, except for the tires. What else have I done on this thing here? Plugs and wires. And no, those aren't the new plugs. I put those in for time being. I'll explain why. I've rewired the whole tractor. I have put a 51 style steering box and dashboard on it because the original was roached. Put new gauges in it. Swapped out the tie rods because they were worn out for this set, which are good. Trying to think of what else we've done here. Can't think anything else at the moment. Oh, I put a new shift boot on it. I pulled the top cover of the shifter off, inspected the transmission. Cleaned all the goop out of everything. So, oh, and I straightened out the radius rods the best I could. They were completely bananaed, and I got them fairly straight, right? You know, nobody's perfect. Cleaned out the air filter so that it's all clean, ready for fresh oil. And I began the process of getting it running. I put a used starter in it that I had, which we'll probably end up swapping again because this one's making a bit of noise. Anywho, I put new resistor blocks on it too, because we're going to drop the amperage going down to the coil. That way we don't need a 12 volt coil, because I found that the 12 volt coils all seem to be made in either India or Taiwan, and they are crap. So this has an original Ford 6 volt coil, so if we drop our amperage down, we can run that 6 volter off of 12. Now I went to get it running, and it wouldn't run despite having good fuel, good carburetor, good spark. And so I ran a compression check on it. Now this tractor sat for, I'm not sure how long. I never really got a definitive answer on that. So when I ran the compression check, I have no compression on 1, 2, and 4. Cylinder number 3 has 100 PSI of compression though. So that tells me that there's a damn good chance that the bottom end of this engine is very good. What we're probably suffering from is a couple of valves that are stuck open. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the cylinder head off. And we'll have a look there and see if we have stuck valves. Okay, with our head removed, which there's two 9/16 bolts here that have to come out. That's where your oil filter housing goes on. And then you'll have to take your upper rad hose off. You'll see there's been some water got in the cylinders here for sure. It's oily because I oiled it in anticipation of it starting. So you'll notice these two valves are wide open, and it looks like this guy here is This exhaust valve is stuck open. Looks like the intake valve is stuck open on this cylinder. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel off what's left of this head gasket here. Right, throw that in the garbage because we got a new head gasket, obviously. And we're going to clean all that crap up, and then we'll start trying to get these guys freed up. Okay, I'm going to spin it over and you'll see that we have stuck valves, which is why our tractor wouldn't run. So, both of the number 1 valves are stuck open. The number 2 intake and the number 4 exhaust. So we'll clean all that stuff up. And honestly, the bores of this tractor don't look that bad for its age, and the fact that, to my understanding and from what the previous owner knew, this tractor has not had the engine rebuilt. There's no rebuild tags on it. And for the most part, every single nut, bolt, and fastener I've removed from this tractor while repairing it has been an original fastener. So I'll get to cleaning this stuff up and freeing everything up. Okay, so with our cylinder head cleaned up and our block cleaned up here, and what I've done is I've sprayed the valves and then just lightly tapped them with a ball peen hammer. So I'd say we're ready to put our head on now. So what I have here is a good quality head gasket, and there's your part number if you need one, 7277B. And this will fit all Ford N tractors, so your 2N, 9N, and 8N tractors.